Right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're okay today. And all right, so I hope you can hear me. Sound is okay. All right. Something small here to see. Comments. All right. So apparently, what is going on in the country? Tensions are getting much higher, and Museveni, is not looking in any way of likely to stop his killings, his intimidations, and beating up People Power supporters as well as Bobby Wine supporters. So a couple of people have been kidnapped today. Another person has been killed, like we've seen on Bobby Wine's page. And Uganda is not a safe place as we speak today. So the people who are living in the country right now, they are living in a very, very tense situation whereby, these guys can come after you anytime, like anytime, whether night or day, whether it's raining or it is shining, they are likely to come for you anytime. And that's the reason as to why they actually decided to block journalists as well as block social media in order to make sure that they carry out these crimes against humanity whereby no one can see what is going on in the country. So that is why we strive here to come and give you updates and show you what is going on, in the country here and there. So today, there is a gentleman known as Selected Devi who was kidnapped by soldiers a couple of days ago, shot in the stomach. And unfortunately today we have received the sad news that Devi has passed on. So that's the gentleman that you see on the screen. He was shot by the police, that is Uganda police, and as we speak today, the gentleman has passed on. I don't know why I can't see the comments, but I don't know what's wrong with my settings. The comments. All right, okay, I can see the comments now. So that's Devi. He has been killed by the police. And all right, comments, I can see them now. All right, so that's Devi, that he has been killed by the police. So Bobby Wine has made a statement about the murder of Devi, and the statement is the one that you can see there, and he says that military men raided the workplace of one of our comrades and a member of our support team, Elijah Muchibi Kate, a 24-year-old who worked in Chiseka Market as a mechanic. Elijah was shot in the stomach, and today morning he passed away. One wonders how many innocent citizens this regime will have to kill on its way out. Rest in peace, brother. One day justice will be served. Statement on the murder of our brother, known as Muchibi Elijah, gentleman known as Muchibi Elijah, a 24-year-old who was killed by, a 24-year-old who was killed by the military as a result of shooting him in the stomach. So what you see today is Museveni is killing the future. The future. Hold on, guys. All right, now I get the comments. All right, so what we are seeing today is we have a president who is 75-year old, and now he has unleashed a battle against the youth of the country. Most of these people that are being murdered and being killed are actually, they are below 30 years old, most of them, and majority are actually under 40 years old. So the gentleman who is carrying out this purge is 75 years old. And all these people are, they are not being killed because they have guns. They are not being killed because they have like magazines of bullets or grenades or things like that. They're not being killed because they are planning on going to the bush and do things that are not within the law. The reason as to why these people are being killed and why they are being kidnapped is because these people support Bobby Wine. Simple. It is because these people support Chagulani. That is why the government has unleashed a purge against these people. So that is how Museveni says that he is securing our future. This is 2 days to the election, but he is still killing people, unfortunately. So wherever you are in the world, please pray for our country, Uganda. Pray for Africa, pray for the world, so that these elderly people can get some sort of humanity within their hearts and understand that the kids they are killing are the kids. They can't be their own children. They can't be their own whatever children. They can't be their own grandchildren. What is wrong with humanity? How many people will they have to kill so that they come to their senses and understand that leadership or being in government, it doesn't have to be a matter of do or die. It doesn't have to be a matter of I don't know why people cannot understand. At times we just wish that there was no government or anything of that sort, because whenever people are given power, and this is how power corrupts people, and they start killing grandchildren. Museveni, for heaven's sake, is 75. He's actually 80 years old. That is if you go with, because he doesn't even speak his own age. He's ashamed. If you call him an old man, it gets you in prison. In Uganda, if you call Museveni an old man, it gets you in prison. That is why you see every day he's doing press-ups. That is why you see every day he's trying to sing so that he can feel so that he can fit in with us. He's in some sort of a midlife crisis. These are things that he never did while he was a teenager, while he was young. While his brothers and sisters, the people in his age, were out there, trying to go to school and maybe trying to date women and, do those things that people go through when they are teenagers. For him, he was busy in the bush, killing people and then blaming it on the government. And now he reaches 75 years old. He sees that death is near. He should be, actually right now, he should be giving his will to different people, to tell them that when I die, please, this is my will. I want so-and-so to be my successor. I want so-and-so to do this. This is what I envision for the country. Instead of concentrating on how to, eradicate, to edit his will and things of that sort, he wants to be young. He wants to be like us. I always pray to God that I wouldn't like to reach an age of 70 and then I start thinking of being like a teenager. It is so absurd. Just because he's now envious about we the youths, he has now just started to kill every youth that he comes across. On the other hand, God is paying him back by using COVID to kill most of his most closest people. But government shouldn't be something, a do-or-die situation. Leadership shouldn't be a do-or-die situation. It shouldn't be that. So that is one of the counterparts that has been killed, unfortunately, and it is really terrible and sad news. Uganda, as we speak today, things are not so good. Guys, just pray for us. One of our other brother has also been killed. That's our other brother who has been kidnapped today. He's okay. What is saying? My voice is too low. But I don't know what's wrong with my settings. Someone say that my voice is too low. Stop doing what? Stop confusing me. Anyway, so what I was saying, guys, is that our other brother, that one that you see on the screen, he's called Herman Ainebiona. Now, Herman is one of the coordinators of the diaspora, and he has been coordinating the work of People Power, the work of NUP in the diaspora. So, Herman, as we speak today, guys, let me know if my voice is too low so that I'm aware. Your voice is too low. Is my voice too low or what? My voice is okay. People would have told me here. Someone is saying my voice is low. You know, these NRM bots at times they come and disorganize. Your voice is okay. Maybe the phone of that person. Okay. All right, so that is Herman Ainebiona. He's a coordinator of the diaspora. He's one of our leaders here. He's one of the leaders of Ugandans living in the diaspora. Ugandans living out here in UK, South Africa, and different parts of the world. He's not even 40. He's not even 30 years old. He just recently married. The wife is pregnant. He left the wife in America, and he went back to Uganda in order to be able to take part in the election process. Herman has been brutally arrested by the state today, and I'll see if I can find the video here where the government they found him in his hotel where he was resting because he was trying to distribute appointment letters to different people who are going to help guard the vote of Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobi Wine, on election day on Thursday. So when the police knew that Herman was in Lila, they arrested him in a very, very violent manner. So here is a video.
I can't breathe. Why are you talking me? Why are you talking me? You're stopping me. Leave me alone. Leave. I can't breathe. Why are you talking me? Why are you talking me? You're stopping me. Leave me alone. I can't breathe. Why are you talking me? Why are you talking me? You're stopping me. I can't breathe. Why are you talking me? Why are you talking me? You're stopping me. Leave me alone.
As you have seen, that's a video of Herman, one of our counterparts, being brutally arrested by Museveni and his secret police, his henchmen. So Bobi Wine has released a statement about the arrest of Herman again, and he said that this is Herman Ainebiona, our diaspora and team leader. Like many Ugandans from the diaspora, Herman decided to return home and participate in his historical election. Upon arrival, he volunteered to deliver polling day materials on behalf of NUP to Lila. Lila is a district in Uganda. Upon reaching in Lila, he was immediately arrested. His whereabouts are still unknown, although our teams on ground suspect he is being held at El Lila CPS, Central Police Station. Herman joins thousands of supporters, comrades, and leaders who General Museveni has detained in the run-up to the election. Like I have been saying, the incredible violence we are witnessing is not evidence of strength. It only shows the dictatorship is in absolute panic. Their fall is imminent. So that's the statement that Bobi Wine has released on the arrest of one of our People Power comrades, a gentleman known as Herman, who is our coordinator in the diaspora. So that is what happened today. And then, of course, the news is still big that happened today in the entire day, and we shall be here trying to break it up. Now, you see, Uganda has 1.5 million. We have 1.5 million people in the diaspora. That is Ugandans outside Uganda, if you know what I mean. And these people have been contributing a lot to the struggle. They have been giving their hard-earned money, the dollars, the pounds, or the rands that they earn in different parts of the world, and they are giving in the struggle. Museveni has the reason as to what makes Bobi Wine very different. For those of you who do not understand why Bobi Wine is so powerful, we have never heard any politician in Uganda that people have actually dug in their pockets and then give the money in order to support a cause. For the very first time in Uganda, why Bobi Wine is so deadly against Museveni is because that people have actually contributed to this struggle from their own pockets. Whatever thing you see that Bobi Wine uses, everything these people have contributed from the diaspora and people on ground back at home. That is why Museveni has struggled to know where Bobby Wine gets the money, and that is why you see now he only comes out with allegations of foreigners backing Bobby Wine, because they see the money is coming from outside, entering Uganda, and then being given to Bobby Wine. But what they do not understand is that this money comes from Ugandans living in the diaspora that do 9 to 6 jobs and things of that sort, where they dig their own pockets and give. You know, we Africans at times we are very, very stingy with with our contributions to different things. But these people, they have contributed money, they have coordinated very well, and that is what pains Museveni. For your information, like I told you last time, Uganda is the second biggest country that receives remittances on the entire African continent. The first one, I think, is Nigeria. And we contributed, I think, 1.4 trillion Ugandan shillings, I think in no, that is in 2019. We contributed 1.4 trillion Ugandan shillings. And whenever they introduced mobile money in the country, the Bank of Uganda actually had to plead to tell the government, to advise government that the remittances had reduced, and as a matter of fact, it was affecting the Ugandan economy, because these remittances, it is us who bring this foreign currency into the country, and when you put that foreign currency into the country, it actually uplifts the economy. So if people stop sending that money and putting the dollars and pounds into the economy, then all of a sudden our shilling, the so-called currency, is gonna be affected. So Ugandans, there is a time that they decided that, you know what, we are going to boycott sending money to Uganda. 1.4 trillion Ugandan shillings is a lot. And when we decided to do that, so what happened? They felt the pinch because Ugandans were no longer sending money and the economy was crumbling. So which is really, really interesting. So that is what our other counterpart who has been arrested, and unfortunately, this is what is going on in the country today. That isn't the only arrest. There are so many arrests that have been going on. 2 weeks ago, Bobby Wine's entire team that he campaigns with was taken by these policemen, and then they were they charged them with the possession of firearms, and they were put before a court-martial. Civilians, the oldest of these people actually I think was around 36 years old. They were put before a court-martial for possession of firearms. Can you imagine? That is around, I think, 2 weeks ago. And then different people, there are some people that are being kidnapped, arrested without even our consent, without even our knowledge. And really this gives a big picture about Africa. It gives a big picture about Uganda as a country. For those of you who have been to Uganda, Uganda is a very lovely country. It has very lovely people, very friendly. And whenever you go and start speaking to people from Uganda, you easily get along very well. But whenever we have leaderships like the Musevenis of this world, whenever we have leaderships in Africa like the Musevenis of this world, who frown upon their own people and start beating them up and start taking them through a hell, taking them through hell, it really gives a bad picture about our country. So you guys shouldn't think that this is what Ugandans are, but this is just a clique of a few people who destabilize the entire region, that is East Africa, and also who destabilize and give a bad image about the entire continent. And I'm really finding it very good now that our brothers and sisters from different parts of Africa are now seeing and they are not buying into Museveni's narrative of Pan-Africanism and Museveni's narrative of fighting for Africa and Museveni's narrative of using words like foreigners in order to rev up support from different parts, from different countries of the continent. Because now the youths in these other countries are no longer buying that narrative. However much you tell them that it is the whites, it is the foreigners that are trying to overthrow me in power. Look, they do not even have to look into that. What we have exposed to show you what you're doing to us, to what you're doing to our mothers, our sisters, our brothers. Kids as young as 14 are being arrested and put in jail for supporting Bobby Wine. And that is Africa for you. That is completely Africa for you. So today, Bobby Wine, while he was having an interview on a radio known as, I think, Hot 96, it's a Kenyan radio, having an interview, an exclusive interview with Jeff Koinange. Jeff Koinange, I think, works with Citizen TV, which is a Kenyan TV. And then Bobi Wine was there a couple of years ago, and when he went to visit the Kenyan Parliament, the Kenyan youth MPs, he was invited by Babu Owino, and then he went and talked to different people in the country and also met Ugandans who are living in Kenya. The icing on the cake of his trip to Kenya was his interview that he had, on Citizen, that was hosted by Jeff Koinange. Jeff Koinange is also one of those people who interviewed President Museveni, and when he asked President Museveni that, why don't you retire? Don't you feel that you are not appreciated what you have done? And Museveni told Jeff Koinange, Jeff can remember this very well because it went viral, he told him that, for me, I'm only working for myself and my family. I'm not working for anyone else. And Museveni has repeatedly told the people of Uganda, he has repeatedly told us that he's not anyone's servant. For him, he works for himself and his family, as clear as the day. That is how that is how he governs the country. That is how he tells us. He undermines us. He calls us fools. He calls us pigs. Anything that demeans a human being or anything that dehumanizes anyone, he calls it the people of Uganda. We have been called fools. We have been called thugs. We have been called homosexuals. We have been called the what do you call it? Because he'll use it in a derogatory way to demean people. And for him, the only people that he sees that are human beings in the country, it is him and his family. Now, here is a clip when Jeff was interviewing Bobi Wine today morning, and then Bobi Wine had to cut the interview short because the military had come in his house today to arrest the maid, to arrest his askari, that is the people who guard the gates, who open the gates in and out. They came for them. They arrested the askari. They arrested the military, the guards that his own private guard that he has around the house. They arrested the Shamba boys. They arrested everyone. The only thing they left was the dogs. So Bobi Wine, while he was still on the interview with Jeff Koinange, he had to cut it short and tell him that, look here, man, I have to go. These guys have come for they have taken everyone in the house. They are taking everyone. Please give me this moment. Now, this is not the first moment. Of course, Bobi Wine has had to cut his interview short. Also, a couple of days ago, Bobi Wine still had to cut his interview while he was launching his petition to the International Criminal Court to investigate President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his Minister of Security, a COVID patient right now known as Eli Tumwine, and some other security officers for human rights abuses and things of that sort. So here is a clip of Bobi Wine while on the interview with Jeff Koinange, and then he had to cut it short, and Jeff was actually, and his co-hosts were left in amazement on really what is going on in the country Uganda. So here is the clip.
My house. Even when we got a second campaign team, it was also arrested in Bali and detained. So I'm sorry. Even right now, as we speak, they are being raided by the military. I have to end the interview because I can see soldiers beating my security guard. I have to go down and give it attention.
Oh, sorry about that. You do what you need to do, Bobby, and stay safe, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you, Jeff.
Okay, brother. All the best.
So I'm sorry. Even when we got a second campaign team, it was also arrested in Bali and detained. So I'm sorry. Even right now, as we speak, they are being raided by the military. I have to end the interview because I can see soldiers beating my security guard. I have to go down and give it attention.
Oh, sorry about that. You do what you need to do, Bobby, and stay safe.
Even when we got a second campaign team, it was also arrested in Bali and detained. So I'm sorry. Even right now, as we speak, they are being raided by the military. I have to end the interview because I can see soldiers beating my security guard. I have to go down and give it attention.
Oh, sorry about that. You do what you need to do, Bobby, and stay safe, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk to you, Jeff.
Okay, brother. All the best.
Oh, my
All the best.
God.
Good Lord.
While on an interview, it was a phone call that they were on. It was a phone interview. Bobi Wine had to call in, so he had to cut the interview short with this Kenyan radio station hosted by a gentleman known as Jeff Koinange, like you have seen in the picture. And then Bobi Wine had to one of the helpers in his home called him and told him, hey, they are beating people up here. They are beating the guard. They are beating the Shamba boys. They are beating everyone. Please come and help. So he had to cut the interview short to go and help out his people that live with him in his home. Everyone has been taken away from Bobi Wine. His personal bodyguard, his media personnel, a gentleman known as Kasiri Ashraf, he was shot in the head. Right now is in a coma in one of the hospitals in the country. Everyone who holds the phone has been taken away. Bobi Wine is only left with actually, I think, just one driver, because we have learned that what the government is planning is actually some people are saying that what the government is planning is to leave him like a lone wolf, so that if anything is being done to him, there is no evidence and there is no one that can testify on the actions that the government has done. Because Bobi Wine is a person, if he walks out of the house like this, the moment he steps out on his doorstep, many people will come flocking to him. Now, the only person that he's left with as we speak today, it is just him and his wife. Even yesterday, one of his younger brothers, known as Mickey Wine, was also abducted and taken away to unknown location. All these people are being taken away, and all these people are young. They are below 40. They are below 30 years old. All these people that are being abducted and taken. Why? Because they are supporting Bobi Wine. That's why. That is why. Nothing else. Now, there is another clip that has been making it on social media. I don't know if I can find it here, but one of the gentlemen was actually today. There is a guy who was beaten so badly just because he was cleaning Bobi Wine's poster. So they had to actually beat him up so badly. Like these things are so sick, man. They are really, really sick in the country, because at times you look for how to defend our country, but you can't. There is nothing you can come out and defend. Let's see this clip of a gentleman being beaten just because he was holding Bobi Wine's holding Bobi Wine's photo. Holding Bobi Wine, and because when I tell you these things, some people might think, oh no, he's lying, he's making stuff up. Now here is a clip of a Bobi Wine supporter being beaten for holding a Bobi Wine poster. That's it. Kampala, in the central city of Kampala. One more time, let's watch it again. As you can see, the gentleman was beaten, taken to unknown destination. We do not hear from, we haven't heard from him. So like you have seen, from the look of things, that would be the more lenient approach, I would say, of beating you up just for holding Bobi Wine's poster. You're beaten up for just wearing red. You're beaten up for just doing this sign. This is our sign, people power, for just wearing a red beret. That one, they just take you to the court martial and arrest you. It is hard. It is hard. Because if at all we were maybe rebels, if we had grenades and they caught us maybe stealing people and beating people up, and maybe if we had done those jobs, okay, so if we had done those crimes, those things would be justifiable, what they are doing to us. But just holding a poster of Bobby Wine, just saying Bobby Wine, just saying people power, just saying NUP, that's it. You get shot. That is the lenient approach. They beat your head up, and then taken away, never to be seen again. All these people have families, they have wives, they are caretakers in their families. But unfortunately, we never hear from them again. When you try to track them down, you can't hear from them again. Attack has been made on the civil societies that would have fought for these people looking into human rights violations. Museveni froze all their accounts, so there is nothing they can absolutely do, because their accounts were frozen, and Museveni put charges of terrorism to these civil society organizations or NGOs. For the lawyers who try to go and fight for these people, the lawyers at times are arrested and crimes are being put on them. A case in point is a renowned human rights lawyer known as Nicholas Opio. Nicholas Opio, he was documenting and trying to profile the people who were killed on November 18th and November 19th by the Ugandan government. When he tried to investigate these people, because Nicholas Opio is a renowned international human rights lawyer and is a very credible person, what happened is the government all of a sudden came and arrested him and took him away. When they took him away, you see what happens in Uganda is this. These people do not charge you and then arrest you. They first arrest you and then they tell you the crime that you have committed. That is what happens in Uganda. So you are guilty before you are charged, number one. Number two, by the time they arrest you, you have already committed a crime. So they preempt a crime you are going to commit and then they come and arrest you, of which that crime is going to be a trumped up crime. So what happened is they said this human rights lawyer was doing money laundering, Nicholas Opio of Chapter 4, that his account had a lot of money on it. And so they decided to arrest him and throw him in jail until international organizations had to come in and fight for his freedom. So right now, Nicholas Opio is still busy with the charges of money laundering and so on and so forth. So things are really, the situation is so bad that we have to cry for ourselves. Now, what I've shown you right now, that is just that is, like when you go to a restaurant, you have an entree, then you have what you call the main, and then you have a dessert. So that is the entree. So now let me show you the main course. So the main course, as we speak today, Uganda has become a bush. Like, not a bush per se, but it has become a war zone as we speak right now. Museveni is ready to unleash violence. They are the same people preaching peace, but they are the same people who are violent. You get it? So right now as we speak, Uganda has become like a war zone. We don't know where most of these soldiers are. For those of you who are watching me from different parts of Africa, please try and check your barracks and see if your soldiers are there. You never know, you might be taking part in beating up Ugandans. Because the way these people have mistreated us, it has made us to question if at all these soldiers are even Ugandan. Because which kind of person can come or can get that sort of, that sort of strength to hit a fellow Ugandan? Even like you hit a fellow man who has a family, who has a wife, who has children, and you beat him up to the extent of cracking their skull just because they are supporting Bobby Wine, just because they are supporting people power, just because they are asking for change. These people have not gone out there and burnt people's houses. They have not attacked anyone. We are the most non-violent people you can ever find in the entire world. Very non-violent. Non-violent. But they will just find you the picture. That is what they consider it as a violence, so they beat you up. So now, as we saw today, Uganda has become a war zone. Uganda, Museveni and his counterparts, the social media accounts that were blocked of recent, the bots as well as the fake accounts that they were using to manipulate the narrative on social media, they were preaching that if Bobby Wine takes power, they are going to turn Uganda into Somalia, meaning that they are going to turn Uganda upside down into a failed state. This is what these people want. And as we speak today, I think Somalia is a better and a much more safer place than Uganda as we speak today. I would be much safer to be, I would be more safer to be in Somalia right now than to be in Uganda, because I know that if I'm in Uganda, I will easily be taken out and things of that sort. So let us see the images today of military men. We don't know from which countries, we don't know from where they are coming from. Please, if you're watching from another part of Africa, try and check in your barracks, make a head count and see if at all your soldiers are there. You never know, some of your countries might be sending these troops over to come and help Museveni, because the silence that is within African leaders, it is that sort, it is the silence of African leaders with what is taking place in Uganda. It is so absurd. And I think if it was possible, really the silence of African leaders. Let us just see the images anyway. Let me just leave it for now. But these are the images today in the capital city of Kampala. Let me give you the images. Those are the people. They are getting hose. They have hose, like you see. They have hose, like hose, not hose. Like those are hose. They use them for digging. Those are the military men in Uganda moving all over villages. Now, what are they going to use the hose for? Those are the guys. Now, I will give you other images. Another one is there. Those are the trucks that are in Uganda today. Those trucks, they are the ones that have been in the capital today, moving all over the place, intimidating people, harassing people, trying to tell people that you shouldn't turn up to vote, Yeah, like you can see those trucks, they are the ones that they brought. You know, those trucks, I made some research about them. I know where they are from, and I will tell you the cost and where they came from. So those are the trucks. Yeah, we can see that one more time. Museveni imported these trucks in 2020 what? Oh, flip. Hold on. All right. So those trucks, yeah, those ones, they are from Turkey. They are from Turkey, from a company known as Katmasela or something like that. It's a Turkish company that manufactures those trucks that you see. They were bought in 2020, July last year, when COVID was hitting Uganda. Uganda spent $20 million to buy those trucks. I think they bought around 15 trucks. And now, as you see, they have been deployed on the streets of Kampala. Now, tell me if at all that is not Somalia. Look at all these. The people all over the place are actually peaceful. But the government has now, like you have seen those trucks, the government injected $20 million, and they could not declare this to the Ugandan people or the Ugandan taxpayers. You see, we have a country whereby I do understand every government has a classified budget. But it doesn't mean that if you have a classified budget, there are things you should tell the country. There are things you should tell the people. Now, when the order for these trucks was made, oh, hold on. Anyway, I'll come to that. Okay, let me finish the trucks as well, and then okay, the trucks. Okay, here. All right. All right, so those trucks, okay, yeah, here is the image. Hold on. Now, because we also need to understand the people that supply Museveni with arms, right? We need to know these people who supply Museveni with arms. Now, those arms or those trucks were supplied in... Museveni made the order, like you can see, it is a Turkish company, and the Turkish company could not disclose who actually made the order for those trucks. Like you can see, it says the Turkish company, Katmasela, I think Katmasela, it's a Turkish company, is delivering the first batch of its Hizir, it's called Hizir, 4x4 armored vehicles to an African country, to an African customer. Last year, the export agreement was signed between Katmasela, whatever. I mean, couldn't they have a better name that I can even pronounce? Katmasela and the African country in a $20.7 million deal, US dollars, $20.7 million US dollars deal, says the company, although it did not supply the name of the country making orders. The deal is Katimasia's first export order for the Hiziri 4x4 armored vehicle, with delivery beginning in 2019 up to 2020 last year. Last year, Katimasia acting CEO Farkan said that Katimasia plans to export the Hiziri to other countries as well. Hiziri was our first armored combat vehicle export. We want to repeat the export success we have achieved by civilian equipment for many years in the field of defense. We opened another door with the Hiziri. We will continue with this. We will continue this success with our Hiziri and other qualified vehicles that we have developed for different needs. As Kasimasia, whatever that stupid name, we have successfully implemented measures to keep the negative effects of the coronavirus pandemic to the minimum. We continued our activities without interruption thanks to the precautions, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you see up there, this Katimasia, the article was written on, I'll put it in the comments and you guys can make your research and read about these things. It was written on July last year, 2020. So it means that Museveni had already started buying these, what's so-called those, because this is how it looks like. He had already started buying, those vehicles, right? And it costed Uganda $20.7 million US dollars for all the entire batch that they sent. I think I counted around, I think there were 10, there must be around 15 vehicles. As Uganda struggles to pay its doctors, to pay people, they are busy buying such kind of machinery from the Turkish government. The Turks are making money, Ugandans were not benefiting. So Museveni pulled them out today. His investment of $20 million US dollars, $20.7 million US dollars, Museveni pulled it out today to intimidate Ugandans, as you have seen in the video. There's another clip also that we have seen on social media that is making rounds. Like you can see those people on the streets, they are marching, muchaka muchaka. You see, they are wearing grass on their heads and they are marching on the streets of Kampala. That is the capital city of Kampala. Do not ask me why it looks so bad. That is what it is. They are marching, waiting to kill and waiting to arrest, as you can see in the videos. They are marching and they are waiting, or they are looking forward to unleash the wrath on any NUP supporter or People Power supporter or Bobby Wine supporters, and trying to intimidate people and making sure that they do not turn up to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have seen, what Museveni clearly doesn't want. Oh, also we had helicopters, choppers flying around Kampala. I had a friend of mine call me and tell me that, hey, I was inside my house blasting music, and then a chopper came almost close to my roof, and I had to run out of the house with my daughter to see what was going on. When she went out, she actually saw a chopper hovering around the area, and he was like, really, why would you take us through all this kind of treatment? So that's where we are today. People are being intimidated, people are being harassed, they are beating them, then they have deployed the army. We don't know where the armies are from. Then they have deployed these Hizir, whatever, 4x4s, armored vehicles. Then they have employed helicopters. That is what it takes to take down a dictator. We don't choose to take down dictators because it is easy. We choose it because it is hard. It is really, 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 really hard. Museveni might think that, he's going to do this and then, afterwards he's going to be safe. Well, we have a message for him. He might have the clock, but we have the time. Yeah, he might have the clock, but we have the time. We have all the time in this world because the resistance is not going to just reduce. The resistance is just going to increase. Wherever he takes, how many Ugandans are you going to arrest? Ugandan prisons can only accommodate, what, 10,000 people all together when you put them all together. So are you going to, unless you're going to kill some, and then afterwards you will arrest the others. So that is what it is. Because if you think that if you intimidate, harass, and show these sorts of mighty, well, the resistance is on social media. And bringing me to the point of social media, as you all understand, media has been blocked in the country. Google Play Store has been blocked. The Play Store has been blocked. iPhone, whatever, Apple Store has been blocked. Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Viber, Signal, YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, they have all been blocked. I think TikTok is still surviving. Guys, if you're on TikTok, please endeavor to upload those videos on TikTok. We shall get them from there and then use them to disseminate the information. But what we say is this, ladies and gentlemen, do not rush, don't panic. Even if they switch them off, take the pictures, take the videos, keep them. The moment they put back the internet, just upload those pictures and we shall have access to them. But Ugandans are not going to wait for internet to be put back or to be unblocked. What they have decided to do right now as we speak, we are using different measures like the VPN. So Ugandans, most of them have downloaded the VPN. Today, Museveni blocked Facebook and he thought that people will not be active. But when they woke up, they have seen that people are actually more active on Facebook today than they anticipated. And then they're asking, why? What did we even block? All of a sudden, every Ugandan, it is now VPN has become part of our lives. Both people in government and outside government. What is interesting is now VPN is a Ugandan phenomenon. Like, you cannot have a phone without VPN. Like, everyone now knows how to. Everyone now, it is a necessity. It is something that you need to have VPN. Telecommunication companies were told to block Apple Store and to block internet and all these messages service. I don't know how they make money. I don't know how a real businessman could come and put money in a country like Uganda, where you can block all these channels of conversation or all these channels of, you know, having access to customer care and all these kind of things. Really, I would like to sit down with business people and ask them, how do you really make money in a country like Uganda? I'm not being bad about my country, no, but what I'm speaking about is the truth. Because in this day and age, if you have no social media, you absolutely have no business. You are left in the dark. I mean, 80% of the population in the country are under the age of, what, 30? They are youths. And 17 million people in the country, we have 17 million users in the country, right? So the government also listed around 100 VPNs to be blocked by the Uganda Communications Commission, an outfit by Museveni that he uses to propagate propaganda as well as distribute propaganda to different parts of the country. Also, if you guys are following, of course, Facebook blocked over 120 accounts that are belonging to people within the government that have been creating multiple accounts and try to distribute false information all over its platforms, as well as YouTube and Twitter and all these other places, through an organization known as the GCIC that works in collaborations with some companies that they might be Chinese that are helping the Ugandan government to hack into anti-government accounts, number one. Number two, to delete these accounts, and also to make sure that they bombard and abuse people online using the same words and using the same phrases. These accounts had also been created in order to inflate Museveni and show that, oh, Museveni has so many viewers on his videos. So as you speak today, Museveni was supposed to have a so-called national address, and now when you go there are, I think, around 40 people watching. It was discovered that these people were using bots to watch Museveni's videos on Facebook whenever he was making public addresses, and also comment on his posts and share them all over the internet. Clearly, people were not interested to, to read and share and see what Museveni has to say, because for 35 years, no one cares what Museveni has to say. Absolutely none. Everyone is just tired. It is the same old thing. We went to the bush. We were 27. We did this. We stole people's cows. We did not pay them. Oh, we fought for your peace. We fought this. That is the entire crap that we have kept up with for 35 years. Right? For 35 years. The Ugandans have a metaphor or an analogy that we usually use. That that drunkard, the drunkard that you have on the village. When he gives you his chicken or his whatever chicken to go and eat, or his piece of meat or pork, whatever, or or goat's meat or whatever. You will mention any meat. If a drunkard gives you a piece of meat, yeah, on a village, whenever he finds you, he will always remind you that, hey, I gave you a piece of meat. I gave you chicken. Oh, you Fazil, I gave you my chicken. You Abdu, I gave you my chicken. I gave you my meat. That drunkard on the village who is always annoying and trying to tell everyone trying to tell everyone on the entire community as he gave you a piece of chicken or a piece of meat. So that is Museveni. Or he's reminding people, oh, we gave you peace, we gave you peace, we gave you peace, we gave you peace. Well, from what you have seen today in my presentation, I hope that is what the peace he gave us. Now, lastly, in my presentation today, in Uganda we have something called RDCs. Now, what Museveni does is he uses the carrot and stick. Kind of, that is the dictator's handbook. That is what all dictators do. So if you oppose him, he will first give you the carrot. The carrot is he will reward you with different positions in government, or give you money, or give you, tax waivers, and, make sure that you don't pay taxes, or pay for your education abroad and things of that sort. So, such kind of incentives, so that you stop shouting and stop talking. Now, if you refuse, then he will use the stick. The stick, kidnap, beat, arrest, and when it comes to the worst, murder, as well as torture. Now, in signing his carrots, he creates positions within government. He inflates the ministries. We have state ministers. Uganda has the biggest cabinet in Africa. I think we have something like, what, 200 and, like, something like, I think, over 180 ministers. I also don't know them, by the way. People who work in the executive and government. Like, we have almost 120 ministers. Parliamentarians, we are making 500 parliamentarians in the country. Uganda has a population of 45 million people. And if you look at the area, it is really a small country. So 45 million people, and then you have 500, now we have 500 parliamentarians. And each parliamentarian, the least I think is paid something like $5,000 per month. So that's a lot of money. Now, amidst all that, Museveni creates more positions or more departments, more organs, more, for example, like you see the KCC here, or, he creates such kind of positions where he creates, he duplicates. For example, you have a ministry of agriculture, then within it you will have NEMA, that is the National Environmental Management Authority. Then within NEMA, you will have the National Forestry Authority. Then within the National Forestry Authority, you will have a tree planting authority. Then you will have within the tree planting authority, you will have a seedlings authority, things like that. So as to reward people who are working with him. Now, the same thing applies here in the point that I'm going to speak about. We have a position known as RDCs. Now, an RDC, according to Museveni, is Museveni's representative in a particular district. This is not a representative, but these are spies that are working for Museveni, that transmit information and tell Museveni about how the district is working here and there, so and so. So we have these so-called RDCs, over 100, I think, and whatever, how many districts do we have? 160. Museveni keeps on creating more districts over and over, again, inflating the budget of the country. I mean, it's really bad. It's bad. So we have the so-called RDCs. And there is this RDC who died of recent. He died of COVID-19. And before he died, he made statements that were threatening to people power supporters and were threatening to opposition supporters. That I'm going to play for you the clip. That who do you call yourself? The Electoral Commission should do this. The RDCs are the most arrogant people in the country. Now, this gentleman died of COVID of recent. And in Africa, we do not talk bad about people. But if you left things on record, it is also our role to tell people what you left on the earth. And we have to play it back. That is why you see most of the times I'm careful on what I say. Because some of us, we would not like to, to look for those videos and people start playing them back. If people are careful, they should be careful on what they say and what they put through their tongues. So this gentleman, let us hear what he said. Now, after he said the word he said, that saying that they say that karma, what goes around comes around, that, karma is that stuff, right? So one of the people, his family members, he said he wasn't happy on how the government treated Museveni's closest ally in Iguru district. So here is the video of the gentleman warning people, that so-called RDC, who died of COVID-19. And then later on, during his burial, we're also going to see what one of the MCs or one of the leaders in that particular area said, and how this gentleman was treated whenever he went to the so-called hospitals that they say Museveni built. This gentleman was not even given a priority. All right, so let us see the video right now.
Move round scientifically as prescribed by the Electoral Commission. Move around and protect the very electorate. Move around scientifically as prescribed by the Electoral Commission. Move around and protect the very electorate, because it would be useless for you to galvanize and mobilize people as a crowd, and the people get infected. Now, once they are infected and they die, who will elect you? People who are agitating our community to demonstrate, I want to warn them. We already have their lists, the list of those agitators. Don't you think that they have a trumpet mouth? We are going to lock their mouth like a lockdown.
I'm a bit emotional, but my emotion is justified. And I would like to ask you, Honorable Minister, to send a very clear message to the President of the Republic of Uganda that we are extremely disappointed. Disappointed with the manner in which Major Santo Kotla Polo was attended to. When he was transferred from Gulu to Molago, he was not given the attention he needed. Securing a bed at the intensive care unit was a struggle. Someone who sacrificed his life, his entire energy, you can imagine the contribution Major Santo Kotla Polo made to this government. And you abandon him to suffer. Have a word with the doctor, with the daughter who is a medical doctor. She will tell you her experience. And from her own words, when she entered the intensive care unit, the kind of situation she found, all the people, about 17 who were in the ICU room, the red line room, they were not being attended to. Nurses were not in to attend to them. Others were struggling for oxygen. And Santo Kotla Polo was there, stranded, nobody to attend to him. It took the intervention of so many people just to make sure he can have a bed in the ICU ward. How does that happen? This is not how a government should pay people who sacrifice to build a nation. So we want to appeal to you. Send a very clear message. And my disappointment, sir, this morning you had not yet arrived. We are told there is a team contracted by State House to come and prepare the grave. This morning they were telling us that there is a truck coming from Kampala with materials to make the grave. What kind of life is that? Does it require government to get a company from Kampala to come and make graves here in Acholi? And they were not there this morning. The local people started making the grave. And when we asked them, they say they are still waiting for a truck. We are told burial should take place in the morning. And then the team contracted comes in the morning, that we are waiting for a truck. It's a shame. It's a big shame. Does it require government to contract even service providers, catering services? You get them from Kampala. State House needs to get serious. So send our disappointment. We are extremely disappointed, and that is the message. Thank you.
I don't want to laugh. But okay. So the gentleman that died, Museveni's RDC, whatever, representative, he was a Bushwa veteran, I think, as well. He's called Major Okot something. To be honest, I didn't even know who Major Okot is. You know, these army people, for me, I don't pay too much attention to them. Because most of them are thugs and bandits. I have no kind words to anyone in the military. I do not care how many ranks you have. Because even if you have those ranks, you are not going to show them anywhere, and except in Museveni's government, and they will give you a job. If you think that your ranks are so high, you take your ranks to Kenya and show them, hey, I'm a major from Uganda, and see if they will care. If you have those so-called medals that Museveni gives you, the so-called Narubare medal, you get your medal and you take it to Nigeria and show them, hey, I am one of Museveni. Look, you don't play with me. I have a Narubare medal. No one cares. I swear. If I was in the military and I was given the honor of being a lieutenant, whatever, or a general, I would turn it down. Because there is nothing that it adds on me as an individual. What adds on you as an individual is how you conduct yourself. Within the populace, within your community, within the people. It is all that matters. So however, even if you have your general, whatever, general, because every year I hear general lieutenant, I don't even know what the ranks are. But African generals are just warmongers, bushmen, bandits, thugs. Only and only they deal in organized crime. That is all they are. So Major Court, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you fought in the battle to liberate Uganda. Maybe where you come from, it might have been a good place and people there know you very well. But unfortunately, when I see anything to deal with generals, what is general? What does general mean? General, is it a general paper? Is it a general what? Because, I did general paper in high school. So when I look at a general, I look at it as a paper as well, like a general paper. And such papers we used to crash. Like you'd study so hard, you study a general paper and you go and score 90%. Generals. This is a general, or this is a major. Oh, if you are one of those I saw recently, they brought these so-called people. Oh, this one is Museveni's most trusted gentleman. The battle of I hear is the Lion of Mogadishu. I'm like, the lion. Who even cares about the Lion of Mogadishu? People don't even know you. No one knows you. Whatever you say, for us, our role. We are the Creoles. Is it called a Creole? Someone who keeps information. Like for us, our role is to get your words, archive them, and then when the time comes, we hold you to your word. It is the same thing that happened with Museveni's other bandit that he passed on. May God judge him. He's called Shabani Bantariza. He said that he will crush Bobi Wine with guns. I swear COVID took him. Museveni is keeping saying that, oh, when you gather so many, your people are going to die of COVID. It is Museveni's own people that are dying of COVID. He has lost ministers. He has lost fellow bushmen. He has, now this one also, Major Okot, I hear. He has also died of COVID. There is no one who has died in Bobby's camp of COVID. It is these older people that are dying of COVID. Now, Major Okot says, how can you hire people to gather? Now, when they die, who will vote for you? Oh, Mr. Okot, you are lucky you are going to vote for Museveni. This war that we are fighting against Museveni, there is some sort of divine intervention that we don't know where it is coming from. There is some sort of divine intervention. This is one thing that shows that people in NUP, people that support Bobi Wine, these people go to church, these people go to mosques, these people pray. These people fast. Museveni has not been to church. I do not know the last time he went to church. The only time he goes to church, the people in churches and mosques where they put money, they always have to look and see if the money is still there. That guy is not easy to be trusted. If he goes to the mosque, we need to check if everyone has their shoes. He has stolen from the country. What would stop him from stealing from the church and stealing shoes from the mosque? The gentleman even steals churches and takes the church land. He has taken mosque land. Where will he even pray from? Every religion is crying of land being grabbed and taken by these people, the bandits, thugs, and thieves. If you are watching me from a different part of Africa, if Museveni ever visits your country, just look for your mineral resources and things and see if at all they are still there. The leaders that came before Museveni, they warned us. A gentleman called Paulo Muwanga. He told us people are celebrating that they have seen Museveni has come to power. But I know Museveni, have lived with him. He's a very untrustworthy gentleman. He's a thug. He's a thief. You are going to cry for the rest of your time. Another gentleman, one of the leaders in post-colonial Africa, post-colonial Uganda, they warned us. They told us. They told our fathers. They told our grandfathers that if you meet Museveni, the two of you, and if you ever meet Museveni and the two of you talk, make sure you check your pockets after he has left. Those people were warning us. They told us that make sure you check your pockets if you leave Museveni. I don't know if I'm going to research and see if there is any African leaders that complain that they have lost pens or wallets or cards or things of that sort in accompaniment with Museveni. The guy is a thief. Okay, do not take my word for it. But Boniface Byanyima, the interview is there on YouTube. Go and see the statements he made about Museveni. Museveni grew up from Boniface Byanyima's house. Boniface Byanyima is one of the people who fought for Ugandan independence. He's the father to Winfred Byanyima, the wife to Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. Boniface Byanyima warned the Ugandans. He told us that Museveni is a liar. Boniface Byanyima is the first person to tell us that Museveni's name is Tibuhaburwa. That was almost 8 years ago and we didn't pay attention. 10 years later, Museveni comes out and adds that name to his name. That, oh no, my name is Tibuhaburwa. Boniface is the one who raised Museveni. And he told us Museveni was a thief. Museveni was a liar. And when Museveni wanted a hand in his daughter's marriage, Boniface told his daughter not to marry Museveni because he was an untrustworthy gentleman. If a man can deny you his wife, why should we give you our country? And Boniface is one of the greatest statesmen of Uganda. And he comes from the same region as Museveni, but he warned us. And even when he died, he still cursed Museveni. Even Museveni's strongest ally in East Africa, by the time they passed on, were cursing this gentleman. Julius Nyerere Kabambarage, he warned, he's the one who brought Museveni for us. But by the time he passed on, it is said that Kabambarage Nyerere Julius Mwalimu, whom Museveni mentions as his mentor, who didn't want to see Museveni at all. Because he's a very untrustworthy guy. Now, this gentleman called Major Okot, sorry for going into a rant, but Major Okot, right now, he succumbed to COVID-19. And to show him that he was nothing, that he was working for a person who didn't care about him, they made sure that he was taken from Gulu, where he was, that is around 100 miles from Kampala. I don't know the distance, but around 100, like a 6-hour distance. They had to drive him from Gulu, bring him to Kampala in Mulago Hospital. This is God's way of paying back people. This is God's way of showing people that, look, you said that the gentleman is the best. You say that you will lock people up using we are going to, we have made lists. You have listed the people that you are going to arrest, you are going to get just because they are people power supporters. Well, we humans can make lists, but God has the best lists. He has a list of each and every one. He said, we are going to lock everyone up, and we are going to lock their mouths like lockdowns. Major Okot, if I call your name, can you reply? Can you reply? You might lock people's mouths like a lockdown, but we have someone that we believe in. I'm a big spiritual person. I believe in God. I don't care what you believe in, or you're atheist or whatever, but for as long as you believe in something that is out there that you can't see, yeah, that's me. I believe in God. And God is the master lockdown. Does that make sense? He put a lockdown on your mouth before you would put a lockdown that like you had promised. People, let us be careful what we say. When this gentleman died, I refrained from talking about him. And I waited to see if there is anything that people would bring up about the gentleman. Look what surfaced. Look what surfaced. And how can you not talk about this to warn your other people who are still working with Museveni that he is not going to care if you pass on? Museveni lived in the bush for like I don't know how many years. Over 1 million people died in Museveni's fighting. And 1 million more died when he came in power. And why would he care about Major Okot? Why would he care about Okot? He can't care. To the extent that the people who were going to build Okot's grave had to travel from Kampala to humiliate him and show him that even in Gulu, we will not get any of your counterparts to dig your grave. That is how humiliating Museveni is whenever you work for him. That is how he pays you back. The only people he cares about, they are people in the first family. The people who are near and close to him. Why can't people understand? Why can't people learn? Why can't people see these examples? People were there crying on what Museveni has done to the big man of their community. A gentleman who warned people that is going to lock their mouths like a lockdown. Well, for us, we believe in an arbitrary God and we believe in justice. We might not achieve justice on this world, but when we meet in the hereafter, we shall get the justice. You know why it is called the judgment day? That is why it is called the judgment day. You might kill people and think that you have killed everyone, but you will be held accountable. It might not be today. Time will come. You might have the watch. We have the time. Be careful. Be careful what you say. You can support Museveni, but do not reach that extent of making Museveni a god. Do not reach that extent where you cannot say, or where you cannot call Museveni out if he does something wrong. And the same should apply to us, even us in People Power. For me, if Bobby Wine does something wrong, I call him out. If NUP guys do something wrong, I call them out. I call them out. But Major Okot died, but, you know, things happen. Do not reach that extent, because there is a life after Museveni. Don't reach that extent of dehumanizing every other person in the country just because they oppose you. Don't reach that extent. There are people who are in the NRM, they support Museveni. They don't support People Power or Bobby Wine. Why is it that those people, there are some people who have passed on even when they do support Museveni openly, but these people, still people, you know, when they passed on, still people loved them. People felt a bit of grief when these people passed on. Even Abiriga himself, Abiriga was a staunch NRM supporter. But when Abiriga passed on, you could see some people in the opposition, they're like, okay, yeah, Abiriga was gunned down, but still, we know you're supporting Bobby Museveni, but still, you know. Chirumira Muhammad, he supported Museveni. But the people who went to his burial were all opposition. Why can't you emulate people like this, who can call out what is bad and call it bad? Call what is good, good. And do not attack the other person's candidate. Major Okot, I'm not a judge. I only present what happened. I don't want to judge people. The role, that's not my role, because I've not lived Major Okot's life. But what we say on our lips, you know, it creates a picture to let us know who you are. The role of judging is to God. It's not mine. For me, it's just to present you with what the gentleman left and how we can learn from it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me today. I hope you are up to par with what is going on in Uganda, in the country. 2 days left. Carry your phone. Carry a mask. Intimidation is too much, but don't be intimidated by the state. Don't be intimidated by these guys, this grass. I mean, we had a problem of locusts. For me, when I saw these guys, I saw like locusts. And I think it is time we passed a budget to start spraying these locusts. These people look like locusts. Why would you really get grass and put grass all over your heads? Who is thinking for Museveni? Who is planning for Museveni? Why do we I mean, come on, people are ready. And you bring people in the capital with grass on their heads, and then afterwards you cry that the whites or the Americans or the British or whatever, the whites are abusing Africans. This gives a bad image about Africa. We can do better. These people can come on the streets without the grass on their heads. Come on. At least if you are to do something, do it in a way that shows pride in what you're doing. I mean, give us a better image of the continent. Come on. But they see people with grass? When did you last take a shower, you guys? You have grass on your heads? Really? Straight from the bush? Straight out of the bush? And when we see grass, we don't even take you serious. That is less frightening. That is less frightening. The reason as to why people were there looking at you, it is because they were looking at you making fools of yourselves. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that no one now wants to join the police or the army because they are going to make you look a fool of yourself. Wearing grass. I went to uni. I have a bachelor's in education. You have a master's in philosophy. You have a bachelor's in engineering. You have a master's in whatever, physics or what. And then you wear grass on your head? Come on. Really? Why did you go to school? Anyway, the education we even get in Uganda is half-baked to that extent that people with bachelor's degrees can wear grass on their heads and come out on the streets to intimidate. Really? You can do better. Come on. You can do better than that. We do not also want this fight to be easy. We also need a story to tell our children. I need a story to tell my son. Now look here, son. This is what we fought for. You can go on YouTube and look at my videos. I did something for my country. That is why we do such things, to leave a record. To leave something that people can look at. Museveni will lie to you that he fought. But there is no record of Museveni even, shooting a bullet or doing something or stuff. Nothing. Where was he? How can you be in the bush for over 15 years and there is no account of you, taking part in killing? Or did you really kill so many people that they had to write it out? Even in his movie, The 27 Guns, it doesn't show him shooting a single bullet. We should believe Dr. Kizza Besigye. We should leave a record. This is what we do today. Leave a record. Show the world that, hey, I did something. It might have failed, but I didn't keep quiet. I did something. Have a blessed night. Tomorrow is another day. It's going to be more tense. 14th, go with your national IDs. Download the app. Get as many VPNs as you can. Take pictures. Take videos. If you do not have the internet at that particular time, do not worry. Store them. When the internet is back on, upload. We shall need that evidence in the aftermath of January 14th. Let us meet tomorrow same time and have a blessed time. Bye-bye.